The Human Target, issue number 6. This is the last issue before we go on a little bit of a break. And you know what? Do it, man. Greg Smallwood has put in like his heart and soul into making this beautiful and perfect. So if he needs to take more time to finish the rest of this book, you do it, man. I will wait. I'll be first in line opening night if this was a film, but it's comic book, so we don't do opening night stuff unless Batman's getting married for some reason. Like, I will do it. I'll do it. I will wait as long as you want to finish this book because it's beautiful. All that being said, I think this issue really felt like we're treading some water. Nothing new was revealed, nothing new happened, except Christopher Chance is closer to death. Like, that's it. He just gets a little more sick. We open up the book, and we see that Ice is accusing him of being an asshole because he's saying, I think Fire might have been the one doing all this stuff because she was having the affair with Martian Manhunter. She could get the money from him to actually give to Booster to get the ice that could be used to put in Lex Luthor's drink. That is so many connections that I'm loving the slow burn of this thing. It works so well. And she just storms out. She's like, turn around, she puts on her clothes and storms out. And the entire time, Christopher is just thinking, I am seriously making a mistake with all this. My goodness, why am I doing this to myself? He's coughing. He's literally like almost on the floor coughing. And you just see like, again, the beautiful title cards just on like the Chinese and the receipt. It is so good. It's amazing. Then the next morning, Christopher wakes up after a lot of drinking, and he's like, hey, I guess I gotta go finish what's going on here. He heads to the doctor's office, which is the doctor of Dr. Midnight, and he's like, so, you're obviously not doing good. Is there anything you want to talk about? Like, I'm sure you feel bad. It's like waiting for a balloon to pop. Like, do you want some help with anything? He's like, I'm fine. Sure you are, buddy, but look, I ran over that poison you gave me, and it's a 1-to-1 signature that's unique. So, if you find the poison, you'd find the killer. He's like, okay, well, I was figured as that, so thank you for all the help. And, Dr. Midnight's like, dude, I get you're going through all this stuff, but if you want some help, there's other ways to go about your final days that aren't just, drinking yourself silly and plotting revenge. Have you ever thought about going to church? Makes Christopher laugh, and he's remembering a story of his mother being like kind of a religious woman, and like when she died, everyone was telling him like about heaven and hell and all this good stuff, and he goes to ask his dad about it, and his dad's like, believe whatever you want, but you could either just do some worshiping or come watch the game with me. And they watch the game, and their team loses in the end, which is really smart writing. Like, it's just subtle brilliance. That's where Tom King shines. I know people have problems with King. I do too. I have them too. But when you give him the chance to do something special, he does something special. When you let him tell a story, he does a good job at it. And this is just like, it feels very kind of just like Alan Moore, where it's, just like the Rorschach jokes. But I could believe in God, or I could just sit down and watch the thing, because in the end I'll be dead anyways, and we lost. So that's it. Like, it's just such a good just like reference and metaphor for his entire experience. As much as you want to just like, think of something better, you're still going to be dead. It's kind of beautiful in that way. It's very subtle and very interesting. I do like it. And as he leaves Dr. Midnight, he starts to realize, okay, here's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to talk to Ice. And I should talk to Fire, I should say. I should talk to Fire, because Fire's clearly going to be the one doing all this. And I can find Fire. I can find all the answers I'm looking for. She's this bad woman. She obviously did something here. I'll figure out what the next things are. Like, what does she do? What's all that? I could talk to the Martian again and figure out what's going on in the Martian. That could be something to work for. All that's going on. He's like, that's my plan. I'm going to head home. I'm going to get ready to find Fire. That's going to be my case. But instead, as he is saying all that, he is driving to find Ice, and he meets her, and they kiss, and then they just like have some nice little love making on the floor, and they go so hard that they freeze all the pipes in the house, and they can't get any water or power going on. It's fun. And there's just something very subtle about it. And that's where I'm saying, like, oh, we're not really like advancing the plot of this. But we're kind of like at the middle of that point where it's like, this is kind of like our act break, if you would say, where it's kind of like, we just killed Mercutio. Now we're going to go do the rest of the story kind of thing. That's kind of like where we're at. The Mercutio thing, very important to what's coming up in this book. So you do kind of figure out, like, they don't really talk about the plan. They don't talk about Fire or the Justice League or anything. They just kind of be there with each other. And when he gets ready to leave, suddenly through the window comes a giant hammer, and in comes Guy Gardner. He like chains up Christopher. He's like, you do not belong here. They get into a really sick fight, and then it turns into everybody just bashing and beating on each other for a little bit of a minute. Ice is really ready to like just attack Guy, and he's trying to like, babe, you gotta stop this, okay? Like this guy, he's trouble, he's bad, he's gonna chew you up and spit you out, he's nothing. Just leave him alone. Do not do any of this. You see Christopher's like, this is going to happen the same thing again. I'm going to shoot. He's going to block it. But he pulls out his gun and does it, and that's the distraction he needs. He gets hit with a mace in his chest, and Guy's like, you asshole. And then suddenly, Guy starts to turn really blue. He starts to get really cold. He starts to freeze. And suddenly, he stops being able to speak. He's frozen. And in comes Christopher to punch him in the face, thus shattering his head. And Guy Gardner is no more. Ice and Christopher have killed him. They tip him over, and he shatters into a million pieces. And we just see Christopher like, I think I'm starting to fall in love with you. I'm sorry. And she says, I'm sorry too. Okay. That's like the biggest thing to happen in this book. It's a lot. And I'm like, I know it's not in continuity because whatever, but very interesting. I'm sure there's going to be people who are upset with the betrayal of Guy Gardner. All I'm going to say is, Guy sucks, okay? He's an asshole. He's a douchebag. He's supposed to be written as a terrible person. The fact that he has a Green Lantern ring should be an indication enough that the system's broken. Like, that's the Guy Gardner story. That is the character to a T. The fact that he has the willpower, but it's personified in a different way than the other ones, that's Guy. So when he's an asshole like this coming in to protect his ex-girlfriend from this abusing asshole because he's too big of a douchebag to realize that he's the abuser, that is so in character, I think. I like that they kill him. And I like that they just sit there like, I guess everything's fine. We're calm, we're together, I smell her perfume. And then she asks the question, do you think anybody knew Guy was here? And Christopher just goes, I see, this is the thing I like about this. Christopher could be lying about this because they don't explicitly say it. He's like, from what Stuart told me, he turns off his ring locator. He doesn't like people impinging on his liberty, so he could be he could just be like a ghost pretty much. He's got like no family, no friends. He just kind of does whatever he wants and shows up. Nobody's really gonna miss him. They just let him melt onto the floor after their wild sexcapade. Yeah, okay. See, I say that because I think Christopher's lying. I still think Ice is the one who killed, or who poisoned him. I shouldn't say killed. Like she killed Guy, but I think Ice is the one that's going to be the one that kills Christopher in an essence. Look, if we're saying that the ice is poisoned in the glass for Lex, that is just such an obvious tease there that it could be so stupid. It's like, oh, ice killed him. Literally, the ice in the drink killed him, and he's with ice, and she is killing him by being with him. Pretty stupid and lazy, but if you think about it, it's a great way to distract people from thinking it's ice. So I think it's Ice. I know it's probably not Ice, but I'm still thinking it's Ice. And then you just see like he gets up, he gets ready to leave for the night. He heads back to Luigi's and he's like, boss, there's a girl waiting for you in back. He's like, a girl? Who's the girl? It's like, some women you just can't say no to. He's got 12 days to live, and that's all I got to find who murdered me. And then just thinking about today, I'm doing a bunch of stupid stuff, and waiting in the room is a woman with a couple of ice cubes, and the ice cubes are looking a little bit orange, which orange is the color of fire, but it's also in green lighting. They don't explicitly say that it is ice or fire, but it's looking a lot like fire. So did fire come to do the thing that ice did? And this is, okay, I say this every time, but this book ends with potentially fire being revealed as a person who's doing the same thing that ice did in the second issue of this book. I still think there's a part of me that goes like, this is a Thelma and Louise thing where fire and ice are in cahoots. They're actually secret lovers doing all this stuff, taking down these people. I still think it's part of what's going on here. I can't really say because I don't know, but that's just part of what I'm feeling, because that's what the case. So as a way to end this book for a couple months, I think it's a pretty solid, Guy's dead. That could be a clue coming into everything. Fire is potentially meeting with Christopher, and now he's got some new shit to work out. It's a good way to show you, like, he is letting himself be involved in the case in a way he hasn't before. And on top of that, it's some really good Tom King writing. I think he really gets these characters because they're not mainstay characters. He's allowed to, play around with it a little bit more. And Greg Smallwood's artwork is just breathtaking. It's like watching a masterclass on how to present storytelling in this format. it's unbelievably cool. Just when it's like the blank backgrounds, the characters' faces, the simplicity to the line work and the coloring. It shouldn't work as well as it does, but my goodness, does it work so well. It's brilliant, it's breathtaking, it's The Human Target, and it's one of my favorite books that is out there right now. I think I'd have to put in like my top 3 DC books currently on shelves, because it is just gorgeous to look at with a fantastic story. I love every second of this. Cannot wait to see where it goes. In my current theory, it's all ice, baby. It's all ice. So, The Human Target, issue number 6, I'm going to give a 9 out of 10. Now, thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And as always, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.